This is the video for Study Guide Unit 5A, Problems 1 through 10. On problem 1, it says in triangle DEF, identify the following: the vertices, the angles, and the sides. The easiest way to do this is actually to sketch the triangle and label it. Remember, when you're sketching and labeling the triangle, you start with one vertice and then you go around clockwise, labeling the other one. So the vertices, think of them as the corners, are point D, point E, and point F. The angles are angle D, angle E, and angle F. And the sides are line segment DE, line segment EF, and line segment FD. Problem 2. The angles of a triangle measure 42 degrees, 62 degrees, and 86 degrees. Classify the triangle by its angles. All of these angles are less than 90, so this is an acute triangle. An acute triangle is a triangle where all the angles are less than 90 degrees. The sides of a triangle measure 7, 8, and 8. Classify the triangle by its sides. Since there are two sides that are the same length, this is an isosceles triangle because that is a triangle that has two congruent sides. For questions 4 through 6, draw the triangle and include the appropriate markings. This wants you to draw an obtuse isosceles, where we said isosceles is two sides that are the same, and obtuse means that the angle is greater than 90 degrees. So the correct markings would be to show that these two sides are congruent. An acute scaling triangle. Acute means all the angles are less than 180, and scaling means that all of the sides are different lengths. So this would be an example of an acute scaling triangle. And an equilateral, equiangular triangle is a triangle where all sides are congruent and all angles are congruent. And you would have to have these markings to show that.
Here in number 7, we are asked to find the value of x and the measure of each of the angles in the triangle below. So if we think, we know that the measure of all angles in a triangle must add up to 180 degrees. And so since we know we have expressions for each of these angles, then that means we can take each of those expressions and add them together and set them equal to 180 degrees. So in this case, we have x plus 3 plus x minus 5 plus 2x minus 6, and then we can set that equal to 180. So if we go and combine like terms, we have x plus 2x, which gives us 4x. And then if we take 3 minus 5, that will give us negative 2. And negative 2 minus 6 gives us negative 8. And so now we have this 4x minus 8 equal to 180. We go ahead and add 8 to both sides. We get 4x equal to 188. And if we divide both sides by 4, we get x here to be 47. Okay? So now that we found x, we can use that to find all our different angle measures by just plugging in 47 for each value of x. So for example, if I take 47 plus 3, I get 50 degrees for that top angle. If I take 47 minus 5, I get 42 degrees. And then if I take 2 times 47 minus 6, I get the last measure of angle, which would be 88. I could also check this work by just adding the 50 plus 42 and add 88 to make sure it equals 180, which it does. Let's go on to number 8 here. So in this case, we are given that we have an equilateral triangle PQR. So equilateral here means that all our sides are going to be the same. So I'm going to go and mark them all congruent and label it PQR. But since this is an equilateral triangle, we also learned that that means that our triangle is also going to be equiangular. So that means all our angles here are also going to be congruent. We're also told that the measure of angle Q is 4y minus 20, and also the length of side PR is 2x plus 2. So let's go ahead and label that in our picture. And it also tells us that the perimeter of the triangle PQR is 42. And then we're asked to find the values of x and y. Well, note here that x is a side length and y is part of an angle. I'm going to start here with our finding y, since this is an angle. So we need to be able to find the measure of each of those angles, so we have a value set equal to. Well, since all angles in a triangle must equal to 180, and each of our angles are the same, I can go ahead and take 180 divided by 3 to get 60, because each of our angles in an equilateral, which also means equiangular triangle, must be 60 degrees. So I get 4y minus 20 equal to 60. So if I go ahead and add the 20 over, I get 80, and then I divide by 4, I get 20. So this means here my value for y is going to be 20. Now our x here is going to be part of a side, so I had to use that piece of information given to us. The perimeter of triangle PQR is 42. Remember, perimeter is all the sides added together. Well, since all the sides are the same, I can kind of do what I did with my angles, but I can take that perimeter and divide by 3, which gives us 14. And so that means here, since all the sides are the same, all the sides here are going to be 14. So I can take my expression, 2x plus 2, and set it equal to 14, and then solve. So if I subtract the 2, I get 12, and then if I divide by 2, I get x equal to 6.